Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Sieber. It's time for our tropical forecast here on YouTube. Now, we do have some things that are going on in the tropics, but nothing is pointed at southeast Texas. So here is Frank, or I should say Larry. This is Larry, and it is a very strong hurricane. You can see the very well-defined eye there. We're going to get back to Larry in just a second. Let's talk about the tropics in the Gulf of Mexico. So we do have this low that is now in the Gulf, but it only has a 30% chance over the next 5 days to possibly organize as it drifts to the north and to the east. And so, for one thing, it's not going to really have any impact on us here in southeast Texas. And you can kind of see why. Do you see the outline of those showers and those clouds? That is a cold front that kind of arrived. Now, it's weak, mind you, but it's enough. It is enough to make a difference for what's going to happen here. Now, we do think that it is going to head in towards Florida by about the middle of the week. Now, what's interesting is it might have a better chance to organize once it gets on the Atlantic side and starts to push away. So here's what's going on for us. So this front came in, and that is enough to keep everything away from us. So this is going to push that out away. The high is going to, as it continues to move, the low will follow that and go right there into Florida. So that's really the setup. It's a pretty simple one for us. So it's, September 6th, September 7th, 8th, that's about that time is when we usually get our first cold front. Now, it's not really going to cool us off. It's going to bring in some slightly drier air, though, for a few days, and then that will actually make it hotter for us with our temperatures locally. So as we look at the satellite imagery, the low itself is still centered here. That's not really moving anywhere. If you notice, we don't have much of a circulation at all. We do have a little bit of convection trying to build up on this side of it, but upper level winds are kind of pushing it apart, at least at this point anyway. So we'll see as this drifts off to the north and to the east if it is going to do anything. So let's get back to Larry now. It is a Category 3 storm with winds at 125 miles per hour as of the 4 p.m. update. And again, this is not going to be a problem for the U.S. coast because, yeah, the fronts that came through here is also a frontal boundary that's going to push this thing away. So as we put it into motion, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably keeping it Category 3 status. So gets really close to Bermuda, but then makes that right-hand turn and heads up to the north. And so this is going to be another one that we're going to dodge here in the U.S. And I don't think too many people are going to complain about that. And that's all we have that's really brewing right now that's of any concern. Now, we are looking still, we're not to the height of hurricane season yet. We're still about a week away before that happens. So we're not done with hurricane season. But I will say this, for us here in southeast Texas, the fact that we have had our first front arrive, typically the fronts that come after, each one goes a little bit further into the Gulf and then maybe gets just a little bit stronger. And once we get into October, then we'll get a front that comes down that really cools us off. But in September, what we get are these boundaries, weak fronts, bring us some rainfall, move out into the Gulf of Mexico, and block anything that happens, tropically speaking. So it usually is a pretty good sign for us. And that's how things are shaping up this week. And so not that much to be too concerned about. Of course, we'll keep our eye on what happens with that low in the Gulf if anything changes, which I really don't expect to see that happening. So that's going to wrap it up for today. We'll see you next time.